one.
Skip, I don't know how you deny him. He's a two-time MVP. He has a 13-3 record over the last 3 seasons. He was number 1 in QBR. He's 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. People, I don't think you realize just how great Aaron Rodgers has been. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 15 interceptions in the last 4 seasons. Josh Allen alone last year threw 15. Patrick Mahomes threw 13. Tom Brady threw 12. Over the last 4 seasons, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers has the same amount of touchdown passes, 136. But the difference is Tom Brady has 28 more interceptions. Tom Brady has thrown 43 interceptions over the last 4 years. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 15. Skip that. Let that sink in. The man has thrown 15 interceptions in 4 seasons. That's crazy. And he's a 2-time league MVP. Back-to-back, he's a 4-time MVP, but he just won it back-to-back with 313 in 3 seasons. Yes. Okay. No, he hasn't paid it off. But to deny what he's been able to do in the regular season, which is crazy. Now, will his numbers step back? And I'm surprised that they didn't factor the Devontae Adams exit. But they're probably thinking, hell, the man won 2 MVPs before Devontae. Devontae made his job a lot easier. He made Devontae's job a lot easier. But they believe that the Sammy Watkins and some of the pieces that they were able to keep is going to be Aaron Rodgers will not have that kind of drop-off. But I'm a firm believer, Skip, like the Super Bowl. I remember when we beat Green Bay in the Super Bowl, the rankings came out, the Super Bowl favorite come out the next year. It was the Packers. I was like, well, how the Packers get to be the favorite? We just beat the Packers. But that's just the way it is. But I do not have a problem with Aaron Rodgers being number 1, given what he's done over the last 4 years, given what he's done over the last 2 years. I'm looking at these numbers, and this is just crazy. This is crazy for a man to throw that few interceptions with that many touchdowns in a 4-year career. I mean, this is Skip. This is ridiculous. This man could literally have 500 touchdowns when it's all said and done, and maybe 100 or fewer interceptions.
Okay, so the Hall of Famer sitting across from me, Shannon Sharp, says, I don't see how you can deny Aaron Rodgers being number 1 in this rating. I will give you regular season Aaron Rodgers. Is that the definition of this ranking? Is it strictly regular season? Because if we go to postseason, it ain't even close. Okay? It's over because Brady should leapfrog to number 1 with no problem. And yet, I will also remind you that Pro Football Focus just last year graded Brady number 1 overall grade for the 17 regular season games. Brady was number 1 over Aaron Rodgers. So I start with that. But then I go to the postseason, which should count extraordinarily here. It should count 5 times what any regular season game counts. And in the postseason, Aaron Rodgers
has been average
twice in a row. He's been below average. Yeah. He's been a bust. He's had the number 1 seed. He's had a week off to get ready for a home playoff game. And what happened? Well, 2 years ago, the GOAT happened because he wound up in an NFC championship game. He got his first one ever at home. And the GOAT goes in there and beats him because it comes down to 1st and goal at the 8, late in the game.
Yes.
Could we see what happened? 1st and goal at the 8. Now this is the guy ranked number 1 on this list. The best quarterback in football does this. 1st and goal at the 8. Whoops. Well, that was wild high. And then he goes back to Devontae here. He scrambles to the right and tries to fling it high and wild to Devontae. And then here's the play of the year for Shannon Sharp. Run.
Yes.
No. He forces it back across his body into double coverage. That pass had no chance of getting home. It is broken up at the goal line, a forced throw to the best receiver in football. And the young Green Bay coach at that point said, no mas, I have seen enough. I'm going to take the field goal that will make it only 31-26 Green Bay. Trailing, obviously, Tampa Bay. 31-26, you're taking a field goal there? And Aaron wasn't happy about it, even went on Jeopardy and joked about it in Final Jeopardy. But the point was, he had a chance to rectify. He had a chance to clean the slate. He had the number 1 seed yet again. He had San Francisco coming in. They're favored to beat San Francisco.
They were up 10-0, I think.
What's that?
They were up 10-0, I think.
Aaron Rodgers in that game this past January had the ball twice at the end of the game, 2 possessions. And in those 2 possessions, he managed to complete 1 pass for all of 5 yards to the best receiver in football. But that was all he got. In 2 series with the football in his hands, he could not move the ball. And you know what happened?
Right.
San Francisco happened.
Skip, look, if the playoffs is your measuring stick, probably Aaron Rodgers shouldn't. But I still believe he's the greatest thrower of the football that we've ever seen. And he can still place the ball anywhere he wants to at any time that he wants to. Now, any quarterback would miss Devontae Adams. I just think he's the best receiver in football. That has to. It seems as to me they didn't even factor that in.
They're looking backward, not forward. This is his body of work.
Yeah, Skip, he's back-to-back MVP.
Okay. Well, are you arguing him out of first?
No. I said based on what he's been able to accomplish the last 2 years, I don't know how you have someone in front of him. And I know the regular season success and the numbers that he's put up. And you look at like, damn, Aaron, you played that bad in the postseason? If you just give us half of what you gave us in the regular season, you're going to win at least 1 Super Bowl in the last 2 years.
That is correct.
And he didn't come up. He didn't show. He didn't play well. He didn't play well. There's no way around it. All this other stuff. I don't care nothing about no vaccine. That didn't have nothing to do with it. Aaron Rodgers did not play well, especially against the 49ers. Now, I think he played a better game against Tampa than he played against the 49ers. But the 49ers, he was awful, Skip.
Yeah, he played a decent game against Tampa until that first result.
Yeah, but Skip, he was awful against the 49ers.
Okay, and yet since that long ago, far away Super Bowl, we're up to now 11 years ago.
Yeah.
He's 7-9 in the postseason, and he's now fallen to 1-4 in NFC Championship games.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Which leads to the capsule on Brady, ranked 4th. As one NFL coordinator who voted him number 1, Brady number 1, he said, quote, Brady is the ultimate end-of-game player. He's the last shot in hoops guy. Ball in his hands, wouldn't take anyone else. And then the capsule goes on to say, the Bucs believe Brady's play has not dropped off in the slightest. And then it goes on, he led all NFL passers with 75 completions of 20 or more yards last season. It's pretty extraordinary stuff. So if he hasn't waned a bit, if he's the ultimate end-of-game clutch player,
you're right.
And then let's factor in leadership, which should play a role in this, right, in ranking quarterbacks. I think he's the greatest leader in the history of sports. Just off what he did the first year in Tampa when he just turned them into a winning organization, and they continue to be that last year, and they're favored by some. They're favored to win the NFC this year. So, better leader, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? Well, that's a joke of a question.
Well, I don't think they factor that into it. Well, maybe you want them to factor that in.
Well, they should, because it's a pretty significant part of playing quarterback is leading the whole football team.
Yes, I agree with you.
It's an issue I have with Dak. Dak talks a good game in leadership, but I'm not sure he acts a good game in leadership. I'm not sure they follow him the way you should follow a quarterback. But the Bucs follow Brady a lot more fervently than the Packers follow Aaron.
Yeah, well, there's no question
Aaron's
about
a
that.
solo act to me. Okay? So that should be a deciding factor here why Brady should rank 1.
Brady is 4. Now deal with that. Aaron Rodgers is number 1.
I just eliminated.
Back-to-back, Jack.
Yeah.
Back-to-back MVPs. There's not a whole lot of back-to-back MVPs in NFL history.
Back-to-back, Jack. He had the number 1 seed and upchucked at home on the frozen tundra. He just erped all over the frozen tundra in the clutch late in the game.
He didn't play well.
Way to go.
Skip. He didn't play well.
No, he did not play well.
But has he played well in the regular season over the last 4 years?
Has
he played well in the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I don't believe he played better in the regular season last year than Brady did. But that's
yeah, he did. Skip,
that's not what pro football.
Skip, hold on. Who had the number 1 QBR? Does Pro Football Focus who does QBR?
Oh, I mean, they believe in it.
Okay, so in other words, they said he was the number 1. 37.
It's an ESPN stat.
But you believe in it. You believe in the QBR.
I do.
He was number 1.
He was.
37-4. What you want me to do with that?
But Pro Football Focus, your Bible, that they graded Brady better than Rodgers. So I'll take that to my bank.
All I want to know, who got the trophy on the mantle?
Yep.
The MVP trophy. Who got that one?
Man bun. Right? He can play golf, too. Maybe that should give him an edge.
No.
Right? He's a little better golfer than Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why he got run
Why
over.
Tom didn't go to Tahoe?
I don't know. He's actually concentrating on football at this time of year as opposed to the other guy who's semi-retired.
Your guy, Tony Romo, won it.
Huh? Well, if my guy Tony Romo could have ever played football the way he could play golf.
Or wanted to play football like he was.
I agree. Because his dream was always to play professional golf.
Yes.
And now he's quasi-professional. He'll never be good enough to compete on the senior tour or whatever tour.
Well, that's why he's tried to make a couple of made the cut, try to make the cut in the U.S. Open and make the field.
Well, he played in that Dallas. It was a PGA event in Dallas this year, and he played very well.
Skip, them guys are really good.
I know.
I mean, the worst golfer will beat the brakes off the best celebrity golfer that you think. The worst golfer on the PGA Tour will beat the brakes off it.
I agree, but Tony has become the best celebrity golfer in the world.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah, I think he passed Rick Rhodes. Rick Rhodes used to win that tournament. Mark Mulder is really good.
And Mark Mulder was in the playoff with him this year.
Yeah, because Mark Mulder won it like from 15 to 7. He won it 3 straight years.
Yep.
Those guys are good, Skip. Especially the quarterbacks, because they don't have a whole upper body. They're very fluid because they do this for a living.
That is true. Tony made a clutch putt on 18 to get in the playoff, and then on the 4th extra hole, he made a big birdie putt to win it. Clutch.